In this exhibit, you will find selected excerpts from 3 separate oral history projects conducted in the 70s and 80s. The first project features stories from plantation store owners on the island of Maui and their different ethnic clientele. The second project takes a look at the Wailua plantation community on the island of Oahu and its shifting demographics. The third project highlights the role of women in the pineapple industry, focusing on women in labor union strikes and other social activities. Each excerpt is only 3 minutes in length and offers a brief glimpse into the lived experiences of these individuals. To learn more about these individuals or projects, please visit our website to access the interview transcripts in their entirety, which are publicly accessible via Scholarspace. Thank you.
Greetings. My name is Ellen Ray Cachola, the Evening Supervisor and Archives Manager at the University of Hawaii William S. Richardson School of Law Library. This video will provide a brief overview of some items in Race, Labor, and Indigeneity, an online exhibit. Water, Labor, and Racial Capitalism includes an article on the Masters and Servants Act, which began the subjugation of indigenous workers to their employers and the importation of immigrants to expand agricultural plantations. Water became commodified since the plantations. The traditional Hawaiian definitions of water management was used in modern courts to challenge corporate ownership of water. Legal representation of Hawaii's working class during the McCarthy era features the archives of Meyer C. Simons, the legal partner of Harriet Buslug. Simons shares stories of racial, class, and gender oppression against the plantation's working class. When workers organized for their rights, along with Buslug and Simons, they were targeted as communists by government agents. But Buslug and Simons' persistence lifted the stigmatization of workers' unions in Hawaii. Labor and indigenous influence in the '78 Constitution was a time when labor movement delegates pushed for workers' rights to collectively bargain, and Native Hawaiian delegates pushed to revitalize their indigenous culture and for the public management of natural resources. Policy debates raised race and labor inequities in Hawaii's multi-ethnic composition. Could the 1978 Constitution end the marginalization of difference? To learn more, please visit archives.law.hawaii.edu or contact Ellen Ray at hawaii.edu or 956-2867.
My name is Leslie Lopez with the Center for Labor Education and Research at UH West Oahu. I submitted the pages for this exhibit on behalf of the archive and website at our center, which was largely curated by our director, Dr. William Pewitt. The Hawaii labor history links on our page are just a few of the many acts of bravery of working people in Hawaii. In this video, I'll share just one of them, the Lanai Pineapple Strike of 1951. The 800 pineapple plantation workers on Lanai were the poorest of the poor, exploited and working under the worst conditions, and they worked for one of the richest and most powerful companies in Hawaii, Dole Pineapple. Dole had plantations on every island and a cannery in Honolulu that had at one point employed children. The pineapple fields on Lanai was one of the largest pineapple fields in the world at the time, almost 20,000 acres. The workers were predominantly Filipino, but they were also Japanese, Hawaiian, and Portuguese. Pineapple workers had been organized by ILWU, but David Thompson reports in his piece entitled "The ILWU as a Force for Interracial Unity" that getting people from different ethnic groups to unite for a common economic good was incredibly difficult work. Plantation management had intentionally stirred up ethnic fear and stereotypes, particularly between Japanese and Filipino workers, for the sole purposes of preventing a strike. Management strategy has always been to divide us in any way they can. What makes the 1951 pineapple strike extraordinary is, number one, it was a wildcat strike. Against the advice of ILWU Louis Goldblack and Jack Hall, who understood the economic and political power of Dole, but the 800 workers voted to go on strike anyway. Number two, the strike was the second longest in Hawaii's history. It began on February 27th, lasting over 7 months. There are accounts that over that hot summer, people could smell the rotting pineapple in the fields an island away. In addition, Dole lost $25 million. Number three, they won. Led by ILWU business agent Pedro de la Cruz, not only did they win an increase in wages, 3 cents more than they asked for, they won pay increases for 9,000 workers industry-wide. including the cannery and the other plantations, everyone. And they forced Dole to negotiate with pineapple workers as a group rather than as individual plantation by plantation, what is known as collective bargaining today. The most important thing about this and all of these strikes is that they were able to organize all workers in one union, regardless of race, color, or gender. The momentum generated by these strike waves led to the Democratic Revolution of 1954 and marked the turning point when Hawai'i workers took power away from the legislature, largely controlled by the Big Five, and put it back in the hands of the working people. As a result of their bravery, Hawaii is the most unionized state in the country today.